Hi everyone! Some Patreon members wrote to me asking how to create these transitions, where the screen splits and you can see several scenes at the same time. So, in this tutorial, I'm going to explain how they're done. We'll also convert the layers to 3D to add depth to the animation and create that cool parallax effect. If you'd like to support the channel, in addition to your likes, you can also become a member of the Motion Graphics Zone on Patreon. There I share all the projects and materials I use in my tutorials, among other things, so you can continue practicing and improving your motion design skills. I've included the link in the description if you'd like to check it out. First, I'm going to import these two files, the color palette and the image of the soccer field. I'll go back to File, Import, and now I'm going to import the Photoshop files. But since they're separated into layers, we have to import them separately. Here we choose Composition, and that's it. We'll import the other two Photoshop files the same way. Let's organize the project a bit. This folder will be for compositions. By the way, if you like documentary-style editing, my course is now available. But it's not just a course in which I show you how to animate a sequence in After Effects and that's it. But I show you the entire procedure that I followed to create this animation. From the initial idea to the final render, going through each and every phase of the creative process. I'll leave the link in the description in case you want to take a look. This one for the Photoshop files, and this one for the assets. Inside this folder, we're going to create a composition called Animation 1920 by 1080 at 30 frames per second, and 10 seconds long should be enough. Here, we'll import, for example, the layers for Player 2. We have to convert them to 3D. We right-click to create a camera, 35mm, one node. Again, right-click, New, Null Object, parent the camera to it, and convert it to 3D as well. Before starting the animation, we'll adjust the scale and position of these two layers. We'll move the background layer backward on the Z-axis to create the parallax effect, setting its value to 1000 pixels. If necessary, we'll adjust its position slightly. At the beginning of the timeline, we'll select a keyframe, advance to 220, and move the camera downward on the Y-axis, setting its value to 690. We'll smooth the keyframes by right-clicking on one of them, selecting Keyframe Velocity, and setting its influence to 75%. Now we'll create a shape layer called Matte 1. We'll change its color, add a rectangle, and a fill. We'll disable the size chain to modify these values separately. We'll set the x-axis to 1920, the same width as the composition. In the y value, we'll enter 1080 divided by 2. Now, we'll align this shape to the base of the composition. If you don't see the alignment options, you have to go to Window, Align. Now, with the Pan Behind tool, we'll place the anchor point here. If you hold down the Control key, it will stay precisely in place. Without moving from here, expand the shape's scale and select a keyframe. We go to the beginning of the timeline, deactivate the chain, and set this value to 0. Press F9 to smooth the keyframes and apply the same 75% influence as before. You should now have a curve like this. If it doesn't look like this, switch to Edit Speed Graph. Now we're going to bring in these two Photoshop layers. We'll convert them to 3D and then center them in the view using Control plus Home. We need to make them alpha matte of the shape we just created. We can already see the effect there, but obviously we need to adjust the scale and position of the layers. We'll move the background layer back 1000 pixels on the Z-axis. We adjust the scale of this layer slightly and position it correctly. That should do the trick, although this will also depend on the images you're using. I'll leave it there, so these colors are visible. Now we have a problem. Notice, this player's legs shouldn't be visible in this area. To fix it, we'll create an adjustment layer and place it below Matte 1. Now it looks perfect. What we're doing is separating the 3D space into two different ones. Although all the layers react to the camera movement, they're in different 3D spaces and don't interact with each other. Let's tidy up the timeline a bit. We duplicate the null object and then delete these keyframes. While on this last one, we move back 10 frames and mark a new one. We need to link the previous null to the new one. Now, we advance to the 5-second mark and move the camera on the x-axis. But not too much so that the players don't move out of the composition. We set a value of 540 and do the same with these keyframes, smoothing them and setting their influence to 75%. Right-click and create a shape layer called Matte 2. Change its color and add a rectangle and fill. We deactivate the chain icon again. In this value, we put 1080 so that it is the same height as the composition. And in this other value, we write 1920 divided by 2 so that it has half the width of the composition. Adjust the position on the left by clicking this option. Using the Pan Behind tool and holding down the Control key, place the anchor point here. Without moving, expand the shape's scale and select a keyframe. Just above this keyframe, turn off the chain icon and set the value to 0. Smooth the keyframes and set the influence to 75%. Now, bring in the other player layers. I'll hover over this one. Convert them to 3D, while on the last keyframe, press Ctrl plus Home to center them in the viewport. Now we need to create alpha matte images of this shape. we'll move the background layer back 1,000 pixels on the Z-axis and adjust the scale and position of the player layer. Let's preview everything. It looks great. We duplicate the null frame to create another movement. We delete these two keyframes, and while on this last one, we move back 10 frames. Mark a keyframe in position. Parent the previous null frame to the new one, and advance to 710. Here, we'll zoom in a bit, setting the Z-axis value to 300. We smooth the keyframes and set the influence to 75%. With no layer selected, we create another shape layer called Mat 3. Change its color, and add a rectangle and a fill. We deactivate the chain and make the shape the same size as the composition, 1920 by 1080. Here at the last keyframe, we expand the shape scale and select one. And right above it, we deactivate this chain again and set this value to 0. We smooth them and also set the influence to 75%. So we get a curve like this. Here, I'm going to put the last image, but you can repeat the same process as many times as you want to add images. We convert the image to 3D and center it in the viewport. And as we did with the others, we're going to shift it 1,000 pixels backward on the Z-axis to create the parallax effect. We have to make this layer the alpha matte of this shape. Here, we have the same problem as before. We're still seeing the player layers because they're in front of the football field image layer. So, we'll use the same trick as before. Create an adjustment layer and place it below Mat 3. This way, the layers above the adjustment layer will be in a different 3D space and won't interact with those below. Now, it looks perfect. Let's add some text with the text tool. Convert it to 3D, center the anchor point, and center it in the viewport as well. We're practically finished with the animation, but let's add some effects to make it look better. We'll apply a tint effect to this layer and darken the white color considerably. I'm going to add a gradient to the text layer. And use this color palette. Here, I'll switch to radial ramp and position the handles accordingly. Now, using the eyedropper tool, I'll select these colors. This is the font I'm using, but you can use whichever one you like best. I'm going to add the CC Light Sweep effect to the text layer and make a few adjustments. I'll set the width to 250. Here, I'll set the value to 2 and the direction to 0. This gives us this kind of beveled effect that looks really cool. These are the values I used, but don't be afraid to tweak the different parameters until you find a result you like. I'm going to give all these layers the same color. Oh, one more thing. The text layer shouldn't be visible in this part, so we're going to make it the alpha matte of this shape layer. I might move the background layer back a bit so the parallax effect is even more noticeable. And now the animation is finished and working perfectly. If you got stuck at any point or there's something you don't understand, leave a comment and we'll sort it out. And if you like the tutorial, give it a thumbs up so I know. See you in the next video.